are on our way to LA to go and talk to some fabulous people at Delta Canine Academy. It looks like they have an amazing facility, and you know, my dogs love to bite. That's like our golf. And so we're gonna go and talk to him and see what they do, how they do it, check out how other dogs are doing it, and just have some fun with Delta Canine and all the people that are going to be there tonight at midnight. Hi, welcome to LanaLive, Canine Chronicles. Today we're going to discuss my favorite subject, dogs, more specifically working dogs. And with me here today I have Mike from Delta Canine Academy in LA, and I'm thrilled to introduce you to him. We were there yesterday at his facility and I am blown away by what he does.
Hello, hi, welcome.
Thank you. Hi, Lana, is Mike here?
Nice meeting you, Lana. Yes, I can go ahead and get him.
Thank you.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
You too. They look good. They look actually bigger than I saw on Instagram.
Right? Yes,
They're
so we've been
beautiful.
following each other for a while.
Yeah, finally we met.
I know this facility looks much better in real life, and it looks weird on Instagram, but in
Thank
real
you.
life, it's wow.
Thank you
Beautiful.
very much.
Beautiful.
Glad to see you here. We'll give you a
Thank
tour.
you. Thank you.
And hopefully we can see some working dogs here.
Yes,
Right?
thank you.
Let me call one of my managers. He'll give you a tour. Vinny?
Hey, how's it going? Oh, is this Lucifer and Lily?
Yes, it is.
How's it going?
Nice
Nice
to
to meet
meet
you.
you.
Lana.
Pleasure.
This is my manager.
I saw you
this-
on Instagram too.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
he's
always.
one of my guys. Just please give them a tour.
Okay, cool.
Explain what's going on here, and then I'll get back to you guys.
Thank
okay?
you.
So now I'll give you a tour of our training rooms.
Awesome. Come on, let's go. Lucy, come. Lily. Thank you for being here,
Thank you for having me.
and thanks for having us at your facility yesterday, for showing us around.
You're welcome.
I was very impressed, and it takes a lot to impress me. How long have you been doing this, Mike?
That's a question I always get, and you know what's the answer? I will say all my life, because I was raised with dogs, right? When I was a child, I had 3 different dogs for 3 different reasons. After that, I was in Army for 4 years, so I had my canine there. Pretty much all my life, I worked dogs. But in general, Delta Canine was established about 4.5 years ago in LA.
How
Just-
long have you been here in the U.S.?
Since 2006. It was so interesting that pretty much, you know, I came to United States, different life, you know, this and that, different work. And then when I was already ready for my next canine, I raised my own dog, Graf.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, and based on friends, family, you know, people that know me, they're like, you need to do this. You need to give this to public. So that's how I decided to open the Delta Canine Academy.
This is not your first facility, is it?
This is my second facility. The first one was in Sun Valley. It was like a temporary location for me because if I'm doing something, I'm doing good, right? So
Yeah.
I built this second facility based on how I see the academy to be.
So these 2 yards are predominantly for my boarding dogs and my training dogs. Every boarding dog and training dog comes out anywhere from 5 to 6 times a day, and they're assigned their own handlers. So it's not a free-for-all. I don't put 10 dogs in here and have them run around and have a fight break out or anything.
In about 6 months, I finished it all.
Wow.
I had people working day and night, like 2 shifts to just complete it fast. And turned out pretty good.
It's very impressive. I noticed that you have many dogs in the hotel and then in the kennels.
Every dog that comes in here, whether it's training, boarding, daycare, they must go home clean the way they came, or even cleaner, right? So we have different types of shampoos for sensitive skin, different types of brushes for different coat dogs. We have an air dryer. We also have towels that we use if the air dryer is too much for the dog. So that's the grooming station. We have our kitchen over there where we do a lot of we cut up our training treats and stuff like that. The sanitary section, all the bowls get washed, they get soaked in sanitary, they get cleaned. Just because every bowl might be used by a different dog, it's not used by the same dog every time. I do not take the chance of transferring germs over, right? Because kennel cough is transferred like that, slobber and slobber. So sanitation is a huge thing for us. Every dog is assigned their own kennel, so you'll never have it be a random, put this dog here and then move it here. They're all assigned their numbered kennels, and they have their names on top of their kennels. Now the big kennel majority is our training dogs, our protection dogs. We have green dogs ready to go, obedience trained, pet friendly dogs. So that's majority of the big kennel, right? With few exceptions of temperament issue dogs, aggressive dogs, bigger dogs, powerful dogs. So we breed, like I said, we board any temperament. So we have different rooms for different kinds of dogs, different temperaments. Our cleaning equipment is hospital grade. So like I was saying, sanitization is a huge thing for us, right? All of our cleaning tools and the chemicals are safe. They're pet friendly. They're not going to cause any chemical burns. They don't have foul odors, because dogs' nose is stronger than ours, right? So we make sure that everything is to the dog's best interest, right? So we have a lot of dogs in there. Every dog will come out 1 to 2 times a day, whether that's for a 10, 15, 20-minute play session, some running on the treadmill, bite work, scent detection. Every single dog must come out at least once a day. And that's why we have a night crew here. We have crew here 24/7. So the dogs are always supervised. They're always monitored, right? So that's another thing that differentiates us from our competitors, is the constant care of the animals, the constant well-being of the animals, and making sure their overall experience and stay here is how I would want my personal dogs to be if I was boarding him somewhere. I'll take my time with the dog, get some treats in my hand. If he won't accept it, I'll put the slip lead over him. You know what I mean? Sometimes they bite, sometimes they're just scared and they just want their space, you know what I mean? But even those dogs must come out 3 to 4 times a day, and they get treated just like every other dog. It's just we have to take a little more caution.
So the dogs in the kennels, are those dogs for sale?
Technically, those dogs are my dogs, and every dog that is in my facility, they're just not sitting there. They're trained in different levels, right? Mm-hmm. If the dog is staying longer, they go different level. They advance. So based on a requirement, based on a client's needs, I adjust those dogs to their lifestyle.
So all those dogs get trained every day?
Every day. Every day. I have about 26 people working in that facility, day and night. And I make sure the dogs get enough activity, playtime, training time, socialization. I assign puppies or young dogs with my trainers to go home, to go in public areas, public settings, to be socialized around people.
And they take them home at night?
Yeah. Whatever is in program, whoever is assigned to the trainer, they have to.
It's a great idea.
Well, here's the thing. You want to have a confident dog, right? You want to have that spiritual confidence in the dog so you can work. And to have that, you need to show them everything. You need to show them the real life. You need to show them the noise, places, trucks, cars, stories, so they know everything is pretty much, it's not surprise for them anymore. And they're not like, okay, what's going on? The first key of my work is having a confident dog, having a confident puppy. That's why I start my classes at 3 months old, 8 weeks old. If the puppy is ready to work, I'll start.
Do you rescue dogs as well?
I do not. I wish I can do that to help, but
you rescue your former dogs?
So based on my contract, I mentioned that every dog that goes out, it either is for sale or whatever it is. By contract, if I know that the dog is not being treated right, I have a right to get it back. And also, if they can't keep it for some reason, they need to return it to me.
And do you just pop up and visit and say hi? Surprise?
You'll be surprised. People call me if the dogs are getting abused. Their neighbors, people, they call me. They know that my dogs. Pretty much, if you go to Los Angeles area, every I will say 8 out of 10 nice German Shepherds you see, it's Delta dogs. And we're known pretty much. People, the community, they know us and they know our dogs. And I do get calls, or I follow up as well.
And you go and get them?
I go get them. Happened 3 times. You know, people make drama about it. You're not allowed to. You cannot do that. You cannot do this. Well,
I'm all about the dog's welfare. So.
yeah. I mean, I'm kind of a guy, you know, if I have to do extra step for the dog, I'll do it. If I'm being sued, it's fine.
Yep.
I'll take care of it. But make sure the dogs are safe and they're in a good health.
So I noticed also that you have different puppies. And on your website also you have different puppies, different prices. I think the one that I saw that was the least expensive was $2,500, right?
Yes, technically what happens is, so based on the breed or choice of the puppies, I evaluate them to be in certain programs. I do have puppies that they can be just nice pets, not working dogs, not any protection levels. So I make them affordable for good families.
So what's affordable? How much is that?
So the minimum price I have is $2,500. And sometimes I also donate to good families.
And you just get the dog and bye-bye as the client, right?
No, mainly everybody comes back for at least obedient training. I have a department that does just obedient training for all kinds of dogs.
And is that included in the price of the dog, or is that extra?
No, it's not. It's different prices for the obedient package and 3 different levels that I offer.
Do you mind if I ask what the prices are?
No, it's fine.
our
So
viewers might
my
wanna know.
regular obedient package is $5,000, which is will teach the dog 14 commands, how to behave, not to pull, not to jump, pretty
Over
much
what
everything.
period of time?
Issues. We do that mainly from 6 to 2 years old dogs, and it takes about 3 to 4 weeks to complete it.
And how many times a week do they have to come?
The dogs are staying with me 3 to 4 weeks.
Oh, hell no.
Yes.
Yeah,
Well, a lot
no.
of people argue that, but I'll tell you what.
I want to separate from my dog
the
for 3
dog
minutes.
needs to be separated from the owner. I'm
I
a big
respectfully
believer of
disagree.
that. I'm a big believer of that because just because that separation anxiety exists,
I have separation anxiety, personally, from my dogs. I don't know about other people, but I cannot be
you
separated.
need your dogs to be independent. Believe me. That's
It's not about my dogs, it's about me. I don't want to be dependent on my dogs.
Well, you gotta
My dogs
deal
are
with
fine.
it. We send our kids to colleges, schools, right?
I know, but I'm not as attached to them as I am to my dogs.
Well, that's a choice. But again,
Yeah.
I highly recommend.
So
it's
they
good
stay with
the
you for
dogs.
3 to 4 weeks?
3 to 4 weeks. My clients get updates, videos, progress, what's going on. Last 3 days, I make sure the clients come in. If they have family members, kids, I make sure everybody handles the dog. They know how to handle the dog. Because now the dog understands everything, listens everything, but if you don't know how to use that leash
Right.
or command, it's the same thing. It doesn't matter what kind of a car you're driving. If you don't know how to drive, you're going to crash it.
Yes, but if you do all this great work and the dog is trained and then it comes home to a person, right, who hasn't gone through the training with the dog over that 3 or 4 week period, the dog's probably not really going to listen to that handler really well.
No,
I think.
honestly, 3-4 weeks, the dog exactly understands what he's supposed to
You
do.
or your trainers, your handlers, what
That's
about,
why 3 days
what about
we
the
transfer.
humans?
We transfer 3 days. We invite the owners 3 days in a row, and we make sure they handle it, not only in a quiet room. Outside, there is dogs involved, people involved. The dog should listen to the owner. If I feel like it's not ready, the dog is not going to go home. The dog
What
is
if the
ready. The
person-
owners are
right.
not ready. Yeah, so I'll make sure the transfer is there, and I make sure. Sometimes I get like, okay, in your facility or outside, when you're present, the dog listens. When you're not, they don't listen, right? So I set up some home visits. We go make sure everything is clear. The dog
And
does
that's
the
all a
job.
part of the $5,000 package?
Yes. It's not only, in my situation over here, it's not only just making that extra dollar, it's worth it or not, but I make sure if the dog is carrying Delta Canine Academy a certificate as a
Yeah.
trained dog, they should be good. They should be good. And I also tell people, like, I understand they're busy. I understand they don't have enough time to work with the dog or walk the dog even, right?
Well, then they shouldn't be getting a dog.
Yeah, but it is what it is. And next time they come for boarding, I see the dog is pulling or not behaving, and I'm like, okay, so what's going on? They're like, oh, it's my fault. I haven't worked the dog. I was busy. I'm like, fine, bring it back. I'll fix it. I don't want any dog walking on the street carrying my name as a trained dog,
Yeah.
be pulling or chomping or not behaving well. So I'll do that extra step, but I'll make sure my dogs are sharp and up to date.
Nice.
But again, I'm the biggest breeder in LA County right now.
But the biggest
Every
meaning
month
what?
I have
In terms
puppies.
of volume?
Volume and also the capacity I have. So technically, this is how it works, right? I'm trying to be available for different people and different dogs. And when I breed dogs out of 10 puppies or 5 puppies, I will select 1 or 2 to do level 2 or level 3 packages that I will qualify them to do. If I feel like the dog doesn't have that drive or the potential to work, I will not force it.
Yeah.
Because the unique part of my training is I don't force the training. The dog enjoys the training.
Yeah.
If I force the dog to bite, he will bite everybody, anybody, anywhere. I don't want that.
Right.
I make sure the dog understands that the bite can be only one reason. You're protecting your family.
So tell me about your packages, from the least expensive to the most expensive, and what do I get? Let's say if I wanted a puppy or a trained dog, what's the menu? Give me the menu.
So the menu starts from puppies, let's say, right? You purchase a puppy. Obedient package is $5,000. I have another package that is called behavior modification package. Mainly my dogs don't have that issue. I do that for other dogs that have aggression, fear aggression, or any other bad behavior that we need to fix. That goes about 8, 9 to 11,000. It depends how bad it is.
And over what period of time?
It takes about 6 weeks.
Okay.
And then from there we go our deterrent package, level 2, level 3. From level 3, there's also plus customization, which is the client can choose things to add into the package.
And how much is that?
That depends.
What's your most expensive package for those that can afford it and want the best?
Last transaction I did, it was $150,000. Right now I'm working on a deal, it's about $220,000.
Does that include the dog?
Yeah.
What kind of dog? Are we
German
talking superb
Shepherd,
genetics? From
German
old
Shepherd.
world bloodlines?
Here's the thing. Pretty much all of the dogs I have for breeding, they are chosen by me. I like their drive. I like the way they work. I like their temperament. A lot of people have preference of cute dog, big dog, this color. I pay attention to the dog's personality, drive, confidence.
So I'm a big fan of genetics in that when I was choosing my dogs, I wanted to make sure I saw as much of the lineage as possible on both sides. Also health testing, at least 4 generations back on each side. And genetics in terms of I wanted a certain size, certain temper, old world working bloodlines, very specific. Lucifer is a god, and I wanted him to be the way he looks, and Lily was chosen after a year search in Germany. I wanted a long coat comparable Mrs. Lucifer, basically. And I paid a lot of money, like more expensive than a Ferrari, I think. But it's worth it because I got exactly what I wanted. But if I went to the people I dealt with and they said, this dog is not for you, although, you know what, they probably would not have given me Lucifer for sure if they didn't think that I would be able to handle him. But how do you deal with people like that? I know what I want. I will pay for it. So, I would be really pissed off if you didn't give me what I wanted.
One thing about me that I'm never afraid of losing a client. If I feel like this dog is not right for your needs, I will not sell it to you. I don't care how much money you're offering, I will not sell it to you. Or if you want specific this dog, I will warn you, this dog will not do this, this dog will not do this, this dog will do this.
Or you can go and get me what I want, or can't you?
It's yes and no. It depends on the request, what you want the dog to do. If you're just going for the look of it and on a training part, you like specific things that I can make it happen, I'll deal with it. Even though if I have to do extra step on my end to get it there, I'll do it. But if I see that it's impossible to compare the look of a dog that you like and the training that you want, I'm not gonna put my name on
That
it.
makes sense.
I gotta be fair to me, to
Do
my
you
team.
import from Germany?
I did in the beginning. I did from Germany. I did from Czech Republic. I like Czech bloodline a lot, and sometimes I even crush German and Czech. I get good results there. And my dogs are pretty much in about 2 years. I start doing my own breeding lines, and I choose which one is for what, as far as like the drive, the temperament, all of that. I do not pay attention too much, like I mentioned, to the too much big dog, because for me, when the dog is too much big, he cannot do most of the things that it's in the package to do.
Very cool.
If you pay attention to Belgian Malinois,
Yeah.
right? They're tiny, they're small, but they're super
not my-
athletic.
They're cute. They're not my kind of dog.
Yeah, but they are designed for things that other dogs cannot do.
Yeah.
And
They're
that-
also super hyper.
super hyper, and they have the athletic body to
Yeah.
do so. If you have a big dog that you want him to go through narrow areas or to the roof or,
Oh, that's
yeah,
silly.
yeah, you don't want.
Yeah.
You gotta be fair to the dog.
Absolutely.
That's one thing I always tell people: like, be fair to the dog.
Yeah.
You gotta respect your dog. So if you don't respect your dog, you just want your dog to work for you. That's not Delta Canine.
That's good. I saw you and everyone that works in your facility. I believe you truly love these dogs. It looks
Yes,
like
I
it.
do. We do. Actually, I'm not gonna say yes, I do. All of my team is a family.
I really like Vincent. He really loves dogs too.
Every
Seems
single
genuine.
person in my facility, they love dogs, and most important person in my facility is the kennel tech. His
The
most
kennel tech?
kennel tech, the guys who clean the dogs, wash the dogs, feed the dogs. They are most important than me. I value them more than I
Absolutely.
value myself.
Smart.
Because they are the people that are feeding the dogs, they see the issue, they address it right time. And believe it or not, I respect them, but
Yeah.
I also have very high demands. And if I feel like somebody is mistreating a dog, believe me, they will get something extra from me. Like, I don't know if I should mention it or not.
I would kick their asses
Yeah, I
personally.
do. Before I fire, I kick their ass.
Yeah.
I'll pay for the lawsuit. It's
Yes, I
fine.
understand.
Yeah, it's worth it.
If I wanted, let's say, a dog that's fully trained, level 3, ready to go, and I am aggressive by nature, I'm an alpha, I control my dogs, can you do it? And very specific bloodlines, very specific size. I want the whole package. Can you do it, and how long does it take, and how much will it be?
In general, to build the level 3 dog, it takes about 2 years. Also, working with owners, that's another part of it. By the time the dog finishes the training, the owners, they become professional handlers. Because every week I work with them, I make sure I see all of the nuances, like what's going on, and I fix it. I also include the family kids, like 6+ old
Yeah.
kids should be involved. They should learn how to control a protection dog and have the confidence to do so. Every case for me is a little different and very unique. I take every dog and every person, different case and unique case. So I am trying to give you the best out of it, whatever you want from me, but in a reasonable range. And I make sure my clients understand and respect that reasonable range. So that's the unique part about Delta, I believe.
I like your approach. You involve the handler, the people, the family, so by the time they're done, there's a very close bond.
It is actually, they become family members. We have a term of Delta family. Most of our clients, they become a member of that family.
I know. We've been talking on Instagram. I'm happy to see that her elbow is so much better.
It is, you know. And
Can you tell me what happened exactly, and what was that process like?
So I guess kind of in the beginning when we first saw it, seats, what's your tail? Kind of in the beginning, it was like, I believe, Christmas. Tammy came walking the room. She noticed a bulge on her left front elbow, and seats. I know. She noticed a bulge on her front left elbow right here, and it was big. It was like, what the hell is going on here? And immediately I took a picture of it. I'd sent it to Mike, and I think it was about December 25th, about 7 o'clock at night. Sent him the picture, and as I'm texting him, like freaking out, like, hey, what's going on here? Yeah. He immediately called us and, you know, told us what it was. I believe it's a hydroma. And you know, nothing too major to worry about right away, you know, as long as it's not affecting her, which you can tell right now I'm rubbing on it, messing with it. She's not in pain. It's just a sac that basically is filled with fluid. So, okay, cool. Next thing you know, start checking with veterinarians and stuff like that. And you can't drain it. It's something that you would have to put the dog under, and they would remove the sac, bandage up, that type thing. Something we were totally against. You know, we didn't want to put her under. Her being young, I believe at the time. Seats. Seats. Something we obviously didn't want to do. Yeah. So another vet kind of got the same thing, that they're going to have to put her under. We're kind of worried about that. We hit up Mike, and he's like, no, maybe I can talk to the vet. Maybe it's something they can do a simpler procedure. The vets didn't want to have that. They just wanted to operate, and it wasn't something we wanted to do. Later on, I guess you'd watched a couple of my videos you liked, and I was like, wow, that's awesome. You know, she seems really nice, seems really cool. I'm just going to say, hey, I'm humble. You know, I appreciate you liking my videos. Thank you. And Tammy's like, why don't you just ask her? Maybe she knows something. And I was like, okay, cool. I sent you a text. I'm like, hey, what do you think about this? And you kind of just immediately stepped in, kind of put us more at ease with it. You know, hey, yeah, no, don't diet. You gave us suggestions, I believe, with a holistic vet.
Yeah, and also to get rid of the kibble, all dog food, which kills your pet slowly.
Yes.
For kids. Yeah.
We went that route. It was a big education. You hugely stepped in for that. You know, with some of your videos, and like you weren't very short in your responses. It was like, wow.
Sorry, I know but it's you know, I probably gave you a whole dissertation on everything, but you know.
No, but it was.
I wanted you to know.
That was the education to it. Is we learned so much from what you said, and it wasn't like it was you took it from somewhere, a copy and paste. It was like literally having a conversation with you, and it felt, you know, natural. So that helped a lot. Switching the food completely to raw.
Yeah, and you did it quickly, which is amazing.
Yes. I'm not sure. Maybe she was probably 7 months at the time, I think, when this was all going on, and just night and day difference. We were using the CBD that you recommended and the turmeric, and probably within the next week started going down. And how much of that CBD that I sent you did you give her, 1 or 2 droppers? I believe you recommended to start off with 1 in the beginning, and then transition her into the 2. We feed her twice a day, once in the morning, once at night, obviously, and it's crazy. It was literally just melting away. We had this huge bulge. I sent you the pictures. Yep. To where it is now, and it's amazing, because so many people that we've talked to that have had similar things, they said the same thing. They went and rushed to surgery because they couldn't wait. They couldn't put in that effort. That's how the vets make their money. Yes. And it's not saying that all vets are bad. No, I think there's a place for them. Yes. And I think it's important, but I also think it's important to exhaust all other options without doing so much damage to the dogs. Even just reaching out to certain people, you know, and take something from it. I talk to other dog people because I know a lot, but I don't know everything. So I learn something every day. Yes. That's what it's all about, right? Camaraderie and sharing. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And you've been a godsend when it came to it, because, I mean, I don't want to put her under for something like that. And, you know, I only like people that love their dogs. Otherwise, I don't. You did say that from the beginning. That's a fact. If you don't like dogs, or if you don't have a dog, I don't talk to you. Yes. Keep it moving.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you chatting with me. It's great meeting Coda, who's so beautiful.
We
What a
appreciate all
sweet
your help. Thank you,
girl.
Lana.
And I look forward to seeing more of your cool videos from here on Instagram.
Not as cool as your guys's, but
Aw, thank you.
When I have a client that is not matching to that family style, I try to not get that training. I try to refuse it because I like the vibe. I enjoy that
Yeah, it
training
makes sense.
time. I see the people are happy and they also communicate between each other, and it's a lot for me.
So yesterday during Bite Night, I noticed that there was a lot of impressive camaraderie amongst all the people. They were really there and cheering each other's dogs on and genuinely showing support instead of hatred, animosity, or jealousy, which was a really nice, refreshing thing to see. I love that it's almost like a place where you can meet like-minded individuals and make new friends and have
Yeah.
something in common, because I feel like I'm a crazy dog person and I don't really like people. I only like other crazy dog people. So it would be nice to have a community of people like that, because you know, you have a lot of similarities. You can take your dogs, do stuff together with the dogs. It's fun. Compare notes. Tell me about Bite Night. How did it develop? How did you start it? What made you develop this program?
So the bite night is part of our training, right? But involving families in it, it started from, I had a family that they had an incident, you know, and they wanted a ready dog. But the wife was scared of dogs in general.
Get a new wife.
Maybe. So I suggest them to get a puppy so we can work with the wife to get used to the dog. Now she has 3. Yeah, she just
I would have replaced the wife, but okay.
you're going easy way. So, but
Here's a
no,
dog,
the
here's a
question
wife.
is, I said, okay, I'm gonna have this family be in a class, being involved in the bite work, teaching, and all of that, and that's how we start getting people in. If they're getting a young puppy, and I start the dogs to be, you know, working from the young ages, so I involve them in the beginning, so they can see the progress, they can be part of it.
They become
can,
invested in it.
Yes, they're investing their time. They're putting something,
Their energy.
and all of that, and dog feels that. See, I always tell people when we're doing bite night and they're like laughing or just chilling, I'm like, you gotta fight with your dog. Your dog needs to understand this person attacking us is a danger. So your energy needs to match to that.
And you have to have your dog's back.
Yeah. I don't know if you realized yesterday I was hitting the decoy
Yeah, of
with the
course.
dog.
Yeah,
I
do the
fight
same
with my
thing.
dog. Yeah. So once your dog feels that you fight with him,
We're in it together.
we're in it together.
Absolutely.
That's
teamwork.
what you want to have. And, you know, you're dealing with different people, different mentalities. If you deliver this message to them properly, they do understand and respect that.
How many people do you have that are going through the facility for Bite Night at any time?
About 10 to 15 families currently. And I don't want to overdo it. I might add extra days, but not.
Are these current people, or are these also long-term people? Or they're like newer people?
They come, we have puppies, we have level 2s, we have level 3s. So technically
They
we
just keep
work.
coming.
Yeah, they keep coming. And sometimes I even finish the dog and I'm like, you're done. And they're like, no, we want to keep coming.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, it's fun. When I cancel the class or I say, okay, 1 month we're giving break to the dogs, that's normal.
Oh, that's so sad.
They make a big deal about
Yeah.
it. Like, we cannot do this. You don't have to show up. We'll come, we'll open the place, we'll train the dogs, we'll go home.
Yeah.
It's kind of activity, stress relief for them. It becomes a lifestyle
It's
thing.
like golf, but better.
Yeah, I tell people having a canine, it's actually a lifestyle.
I agree.
And a lot of people don't imagine how much you can love your dog. I love my dog as my child. And whoever doesn't have that should not own a canine.
I agree 100%. Then they're not worthy.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't deserve dogs.
I agree.
I wish, I always say this, I wish people have 30% of loyalty dogs have. This world will be a better place.
100%. Loyalty, decency, integrity. What is next for you? Are you at the top where you want to be, or you want to do something else?
There is no such a thing, you're always at the top, you always go into perfection. and I'm a kind of a person that I try to schedule and see what's happening next 3 to 5 years. But also, I'm a type of a person that I have to be on top of my things. So if I feel like if I do extra business or extra more amount of dogs and my quality level will be dropped, I will not do it. So before taking the next step, I gotta make sure that I have enough people to work on the dogs, enough space, and any other things that I need to go forward, then I will take my step.
Have you ever had a problem, I wanted to ask you, in your hotel where you had dogs attacking one another, or somebody mishandled, mismanaged, and a dog gets hurt? Have you ever had that?
Hey, every dog that comes into my facility, they have a sheet of background. Who is this dog? Is aggressive or not? Can they play with other dogs or not? Mainly, I don't allow dogs play together. Strangers' dogs, they play separate with the handlers, but not together. I do board most aggressive dogs with bad behaviors. My facility does that, and because I have handlers, I have professional handlers that work on behavior modifications, so they know what to do. A lot of places will use some equipment as far as pole or other equipment to have a control of the dog. We don't. We have bite suits. We wear it. If the dog wants to bite, let him try. He's not going to hurt me, and he will understand that, okay, this is not working, so they will stop doing it.
So tell me, has anything happened in your hotel where one dog got hurt or several dogs got hurt, maybe because someone mishandled it? And I'm asking because something happened to my business partner's dog at a very expensive hotel here in Vegas. And she's only like 6 pounds. She was mauled by other dogs, and it was very bad because plus they lied about it. It was awful.
But the lie about it is the worst part.
But did that ever happen to you?
Everything of that comes when people hire just teenagers for low rate and all of that and not train them. Whenever we hire somebody, the first thing is make sure that person needs to love dogs. Do you have a dog? How you treat a dog. We pay attention to that before we give them a task. And we don't just give them a task, we teach them how to handle dogs, how to approach it, how to take it out, how to bring it in, and all of that, right? It is very important how your kennel takes, the one I was mentioning, that is the most important person in the facility, that how they take care of the dogs. If I feel like the dog is scared of the kennel tag, that means something is wrong. Something is happening that I should pay attention. You see in my facility, everything is under surveillance, right? And I have 16 hidden cameras that my employees don't know where it is.
I think that this facility is incredible. And honestly, what I see on Instagram doesn't do it justice. And I love the fact that the people that work here really love what they do, and they love dogs.
That's a big factor when I'm hiring people. And even trainers, they come with their certificates. People come with their resumes and all of that. I really don't care. I give them few days to try. And then if I like it, you'll like it. If no, you're out. Just the personality has to match with my team too. Because every single employee here, they're my family. I take them as a family. And I take care of their problems as my own. But instead, I just want them to take care of my clients' dogs. That's all I want.
It's very impressive.
In my opinion, if you don't like what you do, you're not going to be good at it.
Especially you're dealing with dogs. Those are souls in there. They deserve love and respect and care.
Yeah, and again, there is no methods for every dog that comes in. I always talk to my trainers and say, look, first, take your 3 days, 5 days, I'm fine. Get to know the dog. Build that bond. Build that trust, and then start. If you have that 3 days and you don't figure out how you're going to work with this dog, then you can do this, And it's some dogs are sensitive to leash, prong collar. Some dogs are, all of the tools, prong collar, choke chains, e-collars, they're great tools, as long as you know how to use it. If the dog doesn't need extra correction or pressure, why you should do it?
Absolutely.
And I'm a control freak.
Which I appreciate.
I come at 3 a.m., 5 a.m. I go, after half an hour, I'll be back again. So I pretty much do everything possible to not have such issues, right? We never had situation of that the dog will be attacked because we don't put them together to play. And I hate that when people take it to parks and they think it's fine when the dogs are biting each other, bullying
not
each
fun.
other. I don't like at all. I don't recommend. Every dog comes out with their handler, with their kennel tape. Things can happen as far as the dog is stressed. They can hurt themselves. They can jump, and start limping out of that. Things can happen. Every business, everywhere there is something. There's no such a thing that everything is perfect. But we make sure that nothing major happens. And if anything happens, we make sure the client is being told and not being lied and all of that.
But did you have a dog?
We never
Hurt.
had dogs fighting. I did have situation when the dog had limping because of the jumping and all of that, but nothing major. When you get a dog in boarding facility, you sign that if any expense, medical expense, anything can happen, you're responsible for it, right? I have the same policies. But never been a situation that even I had to do something extra or the dog wasn't feeling good, I had to take it to the doctor and the client paid for it. It's under my possession,
Yeah.
it's under my watch, it's my responsibility.
Good for you.
People respect me for it, that I take responsibility for the good and for the bad. And I'm an honest person. I don't lie, I don't bullshit. There's too much bullshit going on in our lives.
Amen.
I hate it, yeah.
Yeah.
Just be honest, be true, you will be respected.
Thank you. Nice. I want to talk to you about food.
Very important subject.
So for me, I'm a big fan of feeding for a purpose and feeding a certain way. When I make my dogs bowls or plates, I think of them as bowls of health, right? So everything is there for a reason, and I weigh it out, and I switch out proteins like I told you. With so many dogs that you have that are yours, and clients' dogs in hotels, tell me about your approach to nutrition. What do you feed? How do you feed? Does everybody get the same thing? What kind of diet?
In general, I don't like dry foods, but I also can't force the client to do natural food. It might be a little costly, but I always tell people, you rather pay for the good food or pay the doctors later.
Exactly.
Yeah, for health issues. I will give my recommendations and suggestions, but it's the client's choice. In general, for protection dogs, that it's my dogs and they go to the program, I do force the natural food. I said the dog needs to eat natural. It's very important for
And
the
what
training.
kind of what is it? What do you like?
I do have my own food. I create it for my
Yeah,
dogs.
I saw that yesterday.
Yes. The way I see you feeding your dogs, and that's so much research you did more than I did.
So this is pretty much our basic little store. We have everything from tug toys, balls, first savers, prong collars, long lines, you name it, everything. And this is our own brand of food. So pet nutrition is huge for us.
Yeah.
So we have a wide variety of raw beef, raw chicken, and cooked chicken with no preservatives in there, all 100% natural ingredients. I mean, you can put some salt on the cooked food and eat it yourself. That's how it's human grade, I'd say. You know what I mean?
I'm sure you feed maybe better than I do, but my dogs have enough natural food that they will prefer as I want. Meat, chicken or beef, organs, dog, it's good for the dogs. I make sure the dog is in a good shape. Even from the coat of the dog, you can tell if the dog is healthy or not, what is it missing or not. And it's not same for all of the dogs. Sometimes some dogs don't take it beef, they like chicken, or they have allergy from chicken. So it just depends on a dog. I recommend try this, try that, but I'm against the dry food. I don't like dry food.
What do you feed your dogs? The ones that we
Natural.
just talked about, the ones that you have?
Yeah, the one I created.
Your food.
Yeah.
And you only have 2 flavors. I noticed you have raw beef and chicken and cooked beef and chicken.
Yes, I do, but also with that I do get turkey necks, chicken thighs, and all of that from meat company. And I switch the food sometimes so the dogs can get other things.
Why do you have cooked? Is it because some people don't want to buy raw?
Some people are, they don't like raw.
Why?
You know, we
Because
have.
they don't know any better.
They don't know,
Probably.
or they don't have the time to research, and a lot of people they just go based what their vet recommends.
That's the biggest mistake I've ever
I'm
heard, yeah.
okay for them to at least give cooked.
Yes, anything is better than dog. Anything is better than dog
Yeah.
food. Period.
Yeah.
That has formaldehyde and so much other
I'll
toxic
take
stuff.
that. If
Yeah.
they're too sensitive to raw,
Yeah.
that's fine. Just at least give the cook. And the cooked is not fully cooked. It's just no blood in it. It's little raw again, but no blood. At least, you know.
Yeah.
And honestly, they feel the difference. I tell them, look, here, take it, try it. You will see difference in your dog.
Sure.
Even the dog's activity and all of that will change.
His mood, everything.
Look, one thing I couldn't understand in my life, how the dogs get lost, right? You see like, oh, the dog crossed the street, got lost. There's no such a thing the dog can get lost. Everything comes from those feedings, shots, and all of that.
Yes.
My dog, one day I got mad at him. He left the office. He went home. I take him to a different city. I drop him off. By the time I get home, he'll be home. Dogs cannot be lost if they're healthy. Then
I never thought about it.
yeah, pay
You're
attention.
right.
Pay attention.
You're right. Dogs should know their way home.
They smell it. They know their
Yeah.
way home. And
That's true.
we see in movies or we see
Yeah.
in real life from different states.
You're right.
Dogs travel can come back
Yeah.
home. And I can understand, you know, people don't want liabilities, aggressive dogs, active dogs, and all of that. So they fit something to the dog to.
That's
Drop.
disgusting. I would like for those
Well,
people
it
to
is
live
the
on that
truth.
food themselves and see
Well,
how they feel in a month.
Today, people eat food that is not very healthy.
Well, that's true.
It has the same
That's
whatever. We don't know what it is.
Actually,
but
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's something that we can fight. It's the system, but we can suggest, we can give our opinions as professionals of what we do, and now it's the person's choice. They want to take that, or just they want to follow the rules, made rules.
I hate rules. How do you feel about spaying, neutering, or
No.
the other options that I think are more humane for those that want to consider it, which is tubal ligation or vasectomies? What's your approach?
I do not like dogs being neutered or fixed. I do refuse the training on protection. If the dog is in a progress of protection and they neuter the dog, the training is done.
Good for you, but why? I know why, but I want you to tell our viewers why.
It's just name one good thing about it. Everything is bad there. There's no such a thing that I can say is good. Again, we go to the. I'm a kind of a person that I will understand why things getting done right. I have my.
Because people are lazy
approach.
and stupid?
No, honestly, people are not responsible of their dogs.
Yeah.
You see different kinds of mixes, the breed dogs, puppies all over, and
Yeah.
these dogs ending up in shelters.
Yeah.
So the government decides to say, hey, you gotta neuter your dog. It's good for their health. It's good for their behavior. So people don't have random breedings and torture these puppies or dogs. I'll give credit to that. But a person who loves dogs, understands dogs, they should not do it.
Absolutely. I
And
agree.
has nothing to do with behavior. It will make it worse, I promise
Yeah.
that. But it will
And-
not make it any better.
And because of the hormonal changes that take place, it'll affect their overall health, longevity, mental state, everything.
Well, I compare dogs to people all the time.
Me too.
We're kind of same, okay? Every person that decides to cut his dog's balls,
They should cut
let
their
him
balls first.
imagine if they cut his balls, how
I would
he
be
will
happy
feel
to
about it.
volunteer to be the castrator. I will be the official castrator.
There's nothing good about it. The only thing is, I mentioned, it's the control of the breeding that the government came up with that solution.
I don't know if you know, I recently started an organization called Bark America. My dog started it. I just work for my dogs. Take a look at it, barkmerica.com. And a part of my agenda is to help pass legislature encouraging, I want to say force, but we're going to say encourage people to use vasectomy and tubal ligation if they must do something. At least that way they don't affect their hormone levels and, you know, longevity and health and everything else, because it literally drives me nuts.
Yeah, it is. I hope you can do that, but
When you,
a lot of people just take opinions of vets, commercials, and all of that.
which are
than the
brainwashed
truth.
by the
People don't
dog
wanna-
and
people
and
don't
cat
wanna know the
food
truth.
industry that are sponsoring the vet schools, that are brainwashing the doctors, who are going to come out and encourage you to feed the same toxic garbage while paying for their school loans because your dog gets sick. So basically, everyone's killing your pet slowly.
I'm not gonna go to that much
Yeah.
of the details.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah, it is what it is.
That's how I
Sometimes
feel
I
about
say
it.
that, and there is nothing we can do about it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
But there's a movement, you know. I talk to, we have a lot of Instagram followers and people that we talk to. And there seems to be a really cool movement of people trying to learn and really moving towards fresh food, whether it's the Prey-Raw model diet, the BARF diet, or the Franken-Prey diet. But at least people are now open to it. In fact, I don't know if there's a book, if you ever read it. It's called The Forever Dog by Karen Becker and Rodney Habib. I'm a big fan. And I think they're on the bestseller list still. They've changed the minds of so many people. Tens of thousands, if not more.
I'll tell you, I do see a change in people as far as approaching food or having a real good dog, protection dog, and all of that. In some point, and I have to explain this, and not only explain, but also show that this is possible, right? I had interviewed with other people or news stations and all of that, and the main question is, how do you see that the aggressive dog can be a family dog? I'm like, well, we gotta stop here. There is no such a thing, aggressive dog. My dogs are not aggressive dogs.
Right, mine too.
My dogs are fully trained and they know what to do. It's exactly the same thing if the person is trained to use force if needed,
Right,
but he's also a disciplined person. He's not a violent person.
right.
That person is trained to protect his country, his family, and himself.
Right.
He's not just attacking people. I seen dogs not trained, beating people,
Exactly.
kids, and
Yeah.
all of that comes from
Because that comes from fear. Same
comes
for
from
dogs
fear.
and humans. When you're
Exactly.
afraid, you will attack blindly just because you're in fear.
exactly.
When you have confidence, you don't do that.
And recently, when I was interviewed and they talked to my clients, they wanted to visit their homes and see how this same dog that bites behaves in the home environment,
Yep.
right? And they were amazed.
Yeah.
How this is possible? Well, it is possible if you have a right approach and you also work with the handler or the owner
Yeah.
how to control things.
Absolutely. I get asked all the time when I take Lucy and Lily out, and they're with me all the time. They're sweet and they're friendly, and the kids hug them. They're
course.
amazing. The sweetest babies you've ever seen. But if I turn them on, they'll kill you. But they won't do it unless I tell them to. And
Yes.
I attribute all of that, well, genetics, but also training. Without training, I don't know what would happen. I don't know.
Training, food, everything
Yep.
matters. It's the piece of that puzzle that you put
Yeah.
together.
You're right.
Because if the dog is eating a food that makes him dumb, he cannot make right decisions.
Toxic, crazy, upset.
Yeah.
You're right. 100%. Same for humans.
Same for humans.
That's why we see
Vaccinations for humans.
Absolutely. Let's talk about that. So I'm not a big fan of over-vaccination. I think that it's part of the same nonsense, over-vaccinating humans, animals, killing them slowly with toxicity. You know, when we were kids, we got our initial vaccines. No one ever told us we had to repeat them, right? Why? Because we have immunity, right? If anything, you can do titer testing. But I think that the industry is so vile that if I'm not mistaken, it costs more to do titer testing than to get the toxic vaccines. So I do titer testing. I am not going to poison my dogs unless absolutely necessary. How do you feel about it?
There is vaccinations that I think is very important, and I do vaccinate my dogs 6 weeks, 12
Well,
weeks,
right.
and all of that.
Everything up to 4
Necessarily
months.
vaccinations,
Right.
I'm okay. Whatever it's not necessarily, if I can find different solutions for it, I'll go for it. Also, in a lot of issues, I'm against antibiotics also.
Same.
So I try to do naturally possible to
Yeah.
fix the issue if I see one. But again, today's world, it's so deadly that there's so many infections and all of that.
Yeah.
If the person doesn't have time or the knowledge to how to take care of their animals, and it's the next solution is the vaccination, then let it be. It's a choice. It's a choice. Everybody is entitled to choice, and everybody makes one. But I hope every person that makes choices be responsible for their choices. That's all that matters. It's just
In a perfect world.
in a perfect world. But yeah, I will say yes. A lot of things are extra. A lot of things are just to make money for some people. But necessarily ones, I'm okay. Not necessarily ones, no, I don't like it.
Do you have any tips and tricks for people? Anything interesting? Do you do anything on your Instagram where you do kind of like some tips and advice on training, obedience training? Just
Honestly, I hope I can have enough time to personally do all of that. I didn't pay too much attention to my social media. And today's, again, not.
yeah.
My posts are very simple. I'm not trying to edit a lot. I rather show what's going on in reality than push too much editing, and people like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we in our team we decided to do more educational and how to raise the puppy, how to do this, how to do that. It will be good if the owners will have more knowledge from a facility or from a person who has results. Right, that's all that matters. And in the future, I think we're going to have more educational posts in our Instagram. Even a person who calls Delta Canine and asks simple question, and he's not my client or they're not my client, whoever it is, we are happy to help. We are happy to give a piece of advice, what our opinion is about. But again, end of the day, it's their pet, it's their decision.
Thank you for being here. You're obviously a person of a lot of integrity and decency and ethics, and it's very evident in everything that you do. I love the facility. I loved your people, and I'm very grateful that we were able to visit and to have you here and chat about it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me, and thank you for recognizing us.
Thank you.
Straight talk, make for straight understanding. That's what I know. If you ain't heard what's the word when the word has been served in. That's on you, bro. Say it with your chest, don't digress. Keep it fresh, speak your whole truth, never give nothing less. Gotta give your all, give your best. If you try, you see failure, but aim for success, yes. Too blessed to be stressed, coming at you sideways, hit 'em with the finesse.